Okay. Yep, I see it.
All right, welcome Monograph. I always like to point out I'm logged in as this guy Fernando down here. I'm what we call a super admin. I'm the principal of the firm, so I can see everything. I can see reporting, invoicing, projects, everything, profitability. Each user in Monograph has their own security profile. So if you have like junior staff members, you don't want them seeing anything or certain things, you can easily customize what they do and don't see. From here though, under this view as a quote unquote super admin, up top, I'm just going to get some quick insights about the business, how we're doing. I can look at our net profit here. It'll default to the last 3 months and give me a trend line. In this case, September and October weren't very good. Any of these widgets here will link to the actual report where you can drill down and look further at the P&L for the firm. Other things we can report on. So one of the ways, right, we track employee productivity or employee performance, right, is how much time are they spending on billable work versus non-billable work? How much revenue are they driving, right? Or utilization. So this will go ahead and track it firm-wide. I can see how we're doing, in this case, unrealistically good. And then I can dive in and look at the utilization rate where we'll break it down by month, by employee, and I can see how well certain team members are doing in terms of spending time on billable work, right? Other things we can do, I talked about it earlier, we can look at into the future, right? What does the next X 6 months look like next year? I can look at our operating profit. So again, it'll highlight the next 3 months here by default, but I can look at that forecast more in detail. I also can look at how busy we're going to be or our firm capacity over the next 3 months. Basically, out of all of the available hours, we're only going to be booked for about 47% of them. So we have a lot of people that are going to be sitting on the bench. Should probably go get some more work. Focus maybe on marketing and business development under this example. Other things we're going to flag right now, it sounds like, time isn't being tracked. You guys have a gut feel in terms of projects going off the rails, et cetera, but we're going to, provide some data behind that. We're going to show you which of your projects have phases that are over budget. So it'll flag it here from a dashboard. We'll have other areas. You can see that. More importantly, though, again, we always want to be more of a proactive versus a reactive software. So it'll show you which projects have phases that are trending over budget. Maybe you have a new staff member who's new and they're spending too much time on certain things and they're burning through the budget too quickly. And it just gives you that opportunity to again, step in and course correct before, it's too late. Other things it'll flag, maybe as you grow, right? You don't want team members to be overworked or overstaffed, right? So it'll show which of your team members have they basically exceeded their available hours for this week. So you can go in and perhaps reassign some work. Other things that will highlight some of my recent projects, how we're doing relative to the budget, the overall budget. Every principal's favorite, timesheets. It'll show me here how many hours I've worked this week. Last week, I can jump into my timesheet from here, or I can go into my time card on the left-hand side navigation. We also, by the way, you mentioned, hey, people are out of the office, they're remote. Maybe you're on a site visit. We have a mobile app where you can go in and log your time, use a timer, or just enter it manually, as well as upload receipts or scan them with your camera. So we talked about Asana. I would say we're going to be different than Asana. I've used it before. Again, that's all they do is they do project management. They have a Kanban board. It's very task oriented. We're not really trying to do that, right? We're I would say apples and oranges. We do have the ability though to track milestones and tasks if you want. This is one of the 5 areas where I'm going to get insights into tasks. This is a more personalized view, so I can see overdue tasks for myself, tasks that I have due this week as well as next week. You can, correct. I would say it's the view in terms, we don't have like a Kanban board or anything like similar to Asana. So it's going to be a bit different, but I think, again, you'll see that it's hopefully more geared towards architects. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to get a snapshot of my accounts receivables. I can see here what I have in terms of past due invoices. I can look further. I can also look at all of my unpaid invoices. This is all open AR as well as past due. In this case, I have 3 totaling that much. I don't think we got into the weeds here, but are you guys typically working with sub-consultants and billing the client for them? Okay. Do you guys wait till the client pays you to pay the consultant? Yeah. Yeah, the cash flow. And again, totally fair. A lot of architecture firms subscribe to pay when paid for cash flow purposes, but you can do either or. But basically, this will help me manage all of my consultant bills. It's telling me right now I have 29 bills ready to be paid, meaning the client's paid us, but we haven't paid out the consultant. So, I can go in and again, it'll just help me manage everything, who I've paid out, who I haven't, et cetera. So we help you manage your consultants. We also can see here my unbilled amount. This is all the work we've done that we have not billed for, but can collect on right now. I can go in and start drafting up invoices by going here or go to the invoicing navigation bar. Think of this as more of a work in progress or work in hand. Yeah. So at a high level, most of our clients use QuickBooks Online. The reason being is every bookkeeper out there knows QuickBooks, right? They love it. They'll probably never switch. They'll probably fire you as a client. But that has its limitations. So anyway, typically what people do within QuickBooks Online is they just strictly do their accounting, like their accounts payable. They cut checks, pay rent, utilities. Their general ledger resides there. In Monograph, what you would do is you would track time and expenses. You would obviously manage your projects, and you would, most of our firms, create and send out invoices from here. Some of them collect payments as well. So we integrate with QuickBooks with a two-way integration. So for example, you'll do your invoices here, just so you have a record of them in QuickBooks. We can batch send all of those invoices over to QuickBooks with the click of a button. And if you mark an invoice as paid in QuickBooks, it'll mark it as paid in Monograph and vice versa. So there's that two-way sync. We can also send over your expenses and your consultant bills and all that good stuff. So as we go through the demo, I don't know if we'll have time for a full demo today, but okay, all right. Yeah, just want to be respectful of your time. But anyway, I'll cover, you'll see what that looks like visually. All right. Any other questions or feedback before we go into our project overview page? Correct. Exactly. Exactly.
Hey
All
guys,
right.
I'm gonna hop off. Lewis, thanks for carrying me along the way here for a little bit. Darwin, it was great meeting you and hearing about your company. We'll be in touch, all right? Take care, you guys.
Hey, Josh. All right. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the project overview page. You talked about it at a glance. How do we do that for our projects as well? So I'm going to go in there. This is exactly what the name indicates. It's an overview of all my projects, regardless of status. So when I say status, we have the ability, I'm going to remove this filter to enter our proposed projects if we want here, as well as active. If you ever have any paused projects, we can also track those, right? So I'm looking at a weekly view of my projects. Here's a Gantt chart. I can zoom out to more of a monthly view, and I can see up top here, these like transparent Gantt charts. These represent my proposed projects. I can correct. And then I can filter by status. So up top is my proposed projects, these transparent Gantt charts you see here, right? I can, move this forward. It looks like this one's starting in January. I can enter my different phases, my fees, and flip the switch when we do win that job. Let me zoom back into weekly though. I'm just going to focus on active for our conversation here. So I'm looking at my active project.
So that's just proposals that you send that that you expect that will kick off on that particular time. Like you already sent contracts, you're waiting for them to sign them, right? So you have projected ones too. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you want to enter ones that you're really confident in and have them ready to go and even do staffing for them potentially, yeah, you can enter them, and it's helpful because you can also do forecasting with those in mind, right? So totally optional. I'll show you what that looks like entering those. But yeah, we can enter those at any time, flip the switch to active when they're ready to go. We also have the ability, you talked about, hey, we do single family residential, we do multifamily. We're starting to take on more commercial projects. Maybe we get into different sectors, right? So we have this thing called categories. Think of them as like hashtags for your project. So for example, maybe I just want to look at my residential projects, right? Let me filter that way. Or maybe I want to look at my multifamily. I have multifamily here. I don't have any. These are old projects. Or maybe you have multiple locations, right? I think you mentioned Dominican Republic, right? So I can use these categories. They're all customizable. Let me see all my projects from my Scottsdale office versus this office over there, right? So you can use it like that. And you can also do it for like teams. If you have different project teams and you want to filter by that, it's good for filtering here, but ultimately it also lets you get better reporting. So for example, one report that we have is called profit drivers. It's exactly what the name indicates. How much money are we making in each sector, each location, each team, etc. So I'm going to go to this profit drivers report. let that load for a second. And it's going to tell me essentially my revenue and my costs, right, for each of these types of categories. I can look at it graphically or the raw numbers. I can see residential, our margins are this, right? Our commercial, a little bit lower, a lot lower. I can look at my different office locations or my different PMs maybe. How profitable is this PM's projects tend to be, right? So if we're trying to, I have a firm that they do bonuses, right? Or they're looking if you achieve a certain level of profitability across your projects, right? So anyway, I have a PM here. I can see how much their margins are. So anyway, good use cases for the categories. And then if you have clients, maybe with multiple projects, you can filter by client. And then inherent to being built by architects, Darwin, we can also filter by phase. Maybe I want to look at my projects that are in schematic design. I don't have any. Let me see. Let's go to design development. All right, these are my projects in design development right now. Maybe I want to look at mine that are in CA. They're all customizable, these phases. We just put in a lot of the standard AIA phases. All right, I'm going to zoom in for this next part so you can see a little bit better. This is what we call our money Gantt chart. I would say it's one of the ways we help firms stay on top of their projects, deliver milestones, as well as project financials. As I go from left to right here, let's go to this post-digital architecture project. As I hover over here, I can see we've planned for this project to take about 4,000 hours. As of this moment, our team has logged 2,700 hours towards this project, and we have about 1,300 hours remaining. So we're about almost 3/4 of the way done hours-wise. As you go to the right, it talks about this money Gantt chart. It's going to show a breakdown of all my phases here. You can customize these, right? So I have SD, schematic design, design development. We're in DD here. As you hover over this money sign, it's going to show you, hey, what is our budget for this project or for this phase? In this case, 180,000. How much have we logged towards the budget? So we've logged about $24,000. We've invoiced for about 14,000 of that. They haven't paid us yet. As the team tracks time, it updates and moves this money sign forward, updates all your metrics, right? So you can see how you're doing relative to the budget, how you're pacing. These stars here too, these are my milestones that I've set up. You can call them whatever you want. I have a 25%, 50, 75% billing cycle in my environment. So that's what they're called. But notice I have a due date here. If I'm done with that milestone, you'll see a check mark there. So just could be an easy way to keep track of milestones and financials in one area. But anyway, I've been talking a while. I'm going to pause here. What are your thoughts on the money Gantt chart, and do you think that's something that would be helpful for the team?
Yeah, this is very good. So, so can the team like update these, or do I have to update it like as a principal or project manager to all of their projects? Like the way that we work here is that almost everybody, somebody used a really good example. It's like a law office where everybody has their own cases. So every project, everybody has their own cases. We're not that big to be able to be having, one project manager on their, above everybody else. No. Everybody generally manages their project, and I just, double check on it to see if it's where it needs to be. So I want to make sure that they can edit or check off, and I can see what they've checked off, so that I know I don't need to talk to Tim. I just go, let's say Tim, I just go to a project and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to invoice that one. That's good. That looks good. Like he can actually track his own time, like his own.
He would just go to their, you can set a permission so they can create and edit projects. That's easy to do. We do complimentary training. One of the first training sessions is getting your security permission set up for everybody that's to your liking. And to your point, all they have to do for everything to get updated is log their time, right? So they can go to their timesheet, they can enter the projects that they're working on. Notice here, this fixed bar and grill here. I'm a principal, schematic design. This is all customizable. These are like common tasks I might be tracking time against. So maybe I'm doing renderings, select what I'm doing. Let me go to Tuesday. I'm going to enter 4 hours. I'm going to leave a memo if I want, optional. And I just log 4 hours there, right? So it's going to update those 4 hours on that, and it's going to update the money sign, all my project financials. I can, enter multiple things. So maybe I want to do, maybe I'm on a site meeting on Monday, 3 hours, right? And I can jump from project to project. I can also use a timer here if that's easier. If they want to do a timer, or if they want to just have it on their phone or mobile app, they can do it that way as well. So as long as you're logging time, right, it's going to update all your project information. It will know their bill rates, right, when you set up the project. So that updates. And then also within each project, Every project has its own individual project overview page. It's going to have all the details. You can invite all the team to the project. They can see here, if you give them permission, what are my phases here, my dates. So any changes that get made to the dates, right? Everyone's up to date. You can see the project progress here, the overall budget, start and end date, as well as a breakdown by your phases. I can get the other project details here. I got my geotech engineer, Sarah Lewis here. Everything about the project, I can see our profit if you have permission, other details about this. So just one area for everybody to come here as well. All right, I'm looking at the time. Unfortunately, again, we carved out originally half an hour, Darwin. Typically here, I do have a hard stop coming up. I have to go pick up my daughter.
No,
Typically,
that's important. You're good.
yeah, what I would love to do, again, maybe if you think it's necessary, usually I like to show because, this is great, but some people want to know, hey, that's great. How hard is it going to be to set up? Is it going to be easy to use? So I like to set up a project from scratch and then show you how we can track time against that project and then how to do an invoice from scratch and what that looks like and how we can send that to QuickBooks. Would you be open to doing like a demo, a deep dive demo in a monograph to cover those areas?
Absolutely. Send me. I don't know if you do like options for times and things like that, or we can check it right now, like availability.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it right now. It'd probably be easier. I'll pull up my calendar and then I can send over a calendar invite with the Zoom meeting link.
That's fine. So this week is crazy. But
Sure.
Monday I have time.
I'm out Monday for.
Oh yeah, that's a holiday, right? No worries, no
Yeah.
worries. Yeah. So Tuesday I look good at 11 a.m. Tuesday the 12th, and then I look. What is it?
I'll just ask, where are you located? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask Darwin.
Oh, in Massachusetts. So I don't know what that is for you. I don't know where you are at.
Yeah, I'm out here on the West Coast. So I can't do Tuesday at 11 Eastern. I can do noon Eastern.
Yeah, I'm good on at noon for me. Yeah.
Okay,
On
great.
Tuesday the 12th. Yeah. I typically don't do anything on noon time, so this is perfect.
Perfect. All right, so I'm sending over a calendar invite right now. And then, yeah. All right.